For one of my 5 new technologies, I want to show you something that is put out by Esri, which is the Environmental Systems and Research Institute. This is their geographic information system. So it's a big geodatabase that you can look at, and it has tons of information. And then at the end of this, I'm going to show you their geo inquiries for schools. There's so much content here for teachers and already made lesson plans. It's amazing. I haven't had as much of an opportunity to work with it because I didn't learn about it until second semester last year, but the little bit I have, students have really connected with it. So today we're going to make a map, which you have to make an account so your students would too, but it'll actually tie into your Google account too. There, of course, is things that you like levels that you can pay for, but I've never seen anything that I couldn't just access without paying anything. So this is all free content here. So it took me to the map of the United States. I'm going to zoom in to Kansas to kind of show you some of the stuff that you can look at. So first, what you do is you can choose a base map. This lays kind of like, I guess if you're working on Photoshop, this is your base layer or image. So I'm going to use, for me, topography works out quite a bit. You can lay down street maps, things like that. You can lay down satellite views, so whatever you're looking for. Then you can go up here and you can add. You can search for layers. I go to browse living atlas layers because I'm still kind of figuring some of this stuff out. There's a lot of stuff here, like when you just start looking, there's 2,100 layers. But if you go over, you can see and filter with a lot of other categories. So for me, I want to think about, if I'm thinking about my natural resources class, these could be things that we look at here. So if I click habitat, I can scroll down here and see all of these maps that I can overlay on my base map. So invasive plants in America's national grasslands. This is actually a unit I have. So I feel like every time I get back on this, I am seeing something new. You can always remove your map too. And sometimes it takes you to some areas, like if I zoom back out. More and more. There we go. So if we come back down to Kansas, you can see that we just don't have as much mapped in some things. So there's invasive species. But if we go back here, you can look at all sorts of things that you can put on there. Freshwater, soils. If you're thinking about things like population, housing, neighborhoods, you can talk about education, health, infrastructure, environment. There's tons of stuff, regions if you study around the world. There's just about anything that you could add to your map here. You can also measure. So you can choose if you want to do miles, kilometers. You can draw here. If you double click, then you know that that's 80.6 kilometers. Didn't stay on miles. There we go, 50 miles. So this just has a lot of interesting things. It's very interactive. There's really limitless things that could be a problem I see with kids. You definitely have to kind of reel them in on what to look at because I can see them getting lost in the rabbit hole of these, over 2,000 layers that they can add to it. But this is a really awesome tool that you can utilize. Another thing that Esri offers is the geo inquiries for schools. So if you go here, and I'll try and add this link directly to this. If you go here and you scroll down, you see their latest content. There's view all group content. And there's all these geo inquiries. So we have Earth, government, math, elementary, U.S. history, and just it keeps going. For me, I'm going to say, okay, environmental science, what does that mean? And it comes up with literally full lesson plans. Like here's slowing malaria. Lesson plans that are tied to standards. it's really awesome. So there's map features used, and it explains how to use some of the technology that's within ArcGIS itself in your lesson plan here. So ArcGIS is a really awesome tool that I think I am also just tipping the cap of what it can be used for.